Shalom. This week we are reading Parashat Re'eh. This Shabbat is also the Sabbath of the blessing of the new moon of the month of Elul, which will be beginning next week. Many mitzvot are given over here in our Torah portion, and actually in the portion of Re'eh and the following two Torah portions, the majority of the commandments, of all the commandments in the book of Devarim, are given over. In our parsha, the children of Israel are commanded that upon entering into the land, they must destroy all vestiges of the idolatry which characterized the previous occupants of the land. They must safeguard themselves against idolatrous ways. Now, what is idolatry all about? It's about human frailty and human lusts and needs. Me first, my needs, my own private and selfish, self-styled and self-serving notion of who God is, modeled after how I need Him to be, to suit my changing needs and fears and wants, and how to serve Him so that He will be at my beck and call. That's what idolatry is all about. What is the very polar opposite of that? Serving Hashem, the Creator of the universe, with all our heart, soul, and might, for His sake, at the one location that He chose, on His terms, that brings together all of humanity in the knowledge and recognition of God's oneness in His sacred, predetermined, pre-creation space. That's the Holy Temple. And here, in our portion, for the first time, the idea, the vision of the permanent location of the Holy Temple begins to emerge, begins to be revealed for the first time in the Torah. That place from whose dust Adam was created, that place which Abraham saw from afar and to whence he brought and bound Isaac, that place where Yaakov laid his head and dreamed of the ladder ascending to heaven, the place Moshe alluded to in the beginning of Parashat Re'eh as this good mountain and the Lebanon, the place that was merely represented by the tabernacle as a temporary meeting place for God and man, the place which marks the center as well as the purpose of creation, that place which is the apex of the sanctity of the land, is now introduced to us in chapter 12 and verse 5 as the place that Hashem your God will choose from among all your tribes to place His name. There you shall seek out His presence and come there. Moshe informs the people that serving Hashem is not going to be done like these idolaters served their various gods of lust and fear and convenience, slaughtering and sacrificing wherever they wanted. Moshe stresses that the korbanot, offerings, will be brought in the place where Hashem will choose. Chapter 12 and verse 8 we read, "You shall not do like everything that we do here today, every man what is proper in his eyes, for you will not yet have come to the resting place or to the heritage that Hashem your God gives you." The resting place referred to in this verse, our sages teach, refers to the tabernacle in Shiloh. And the heritage is none other than the permanent location of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. First, the offerings are to be brought in the tabernacle during the period, it was actually 14 years, while the land is being conquered and at proportion to the various tribes, and afterwards to the Beit HaMikdash in Jerusalem. And as long as the tabernacle would exist, there was also the possibility of bringing offerings at bamot, platforms, actually local altars, but only personal vow offerings, not the offerings commanded by Torah. Once the temple is to be built, all that will be forbidden. And the Holy Temple, our Parsha informs us, will also be the spiritual center of the nation. There they will ascend to rejoice before Hashem. So it's either idolatry, which is me first, or Beit HaMikdash, Hashem first. And there's no middle ground. Our Parsha continues to specify a number of prohibitions and laws regarding things which are against Hashem's will, imitating customs of the idolatrous Gentiles, for example, and forbidden foods. Slaughtering meat not to be used as an offering can be done anywhere. No blood is to ever be eaten. Tithe offerings can be eaten only in Jerusalem. Remember the Levites. In short, what's going on here is that there's a program. There's a program outlined here. And upon entering into the land, it's going to go into effect. What's clearly beginning to emerge here is the reality of life about to be lived in the land of Israel. And what fuels, what empowers, what drives that life is what we can refer to as Holy Temple consciousness. Life is holy and replete with sacred nuances, and we need to become sensitive to those nuances as a nation, because, as we learn later in this very parsha, the nation is told, you are children to Hashem your God, for you are a holy people to Hashem your God, and Hashem has chosen you for himself to be a treasured people from among all the people on the face of the earth. That's at the beginning of chapter 14. So like, we are in Hashem's program and not the other way around. It's not like, how do I make room for Hashem in my busy program? You're in his program. And that is really the key to understanding this entire parsha. So everything that we've said until now, okay, it's a brief outline, overview of some of the points in our Torah portion. But open up your heart in the deepest way. The truth is, it's hard for us to even get past the first few words of the parsha, because they contain so much. They contain the whole world. They contain the whole Torah and everything in the world that we need to know. Remember last week's Torah portion of Akev? Well, this week's portion of Re'eh is a continuation of what we spoke about. The package deal, one piece, the whole mitzvah being with the program. Yes or no? You see, our portion opens by presenting the possibility of a choice which a person has. See, Re'eh, I present before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, that you will heed the commandments of Hashem your God, which I command you today. And the curse, if you will not heed the commandments of Hashem your God, but turn away from the way I command you today to follow other gods which you did not know. And it will be, when Hashem your God will bring you to the land to which you come to possess it, that you shall place those blessing upon Mount Gerizim, and those cursing upon Mount Avel. Are they not on the other side of the Jordan, way beyond, in the direction of the sunset, in the land of the Canaanites, who dwell in the plain opposite Gilgal, near the plains of Moreh? For you are crossing the Jordan to come to possess the land which Hashem your God is giving you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it. And you shall keep to perform all the statutes and ordinances that I am setting before you today. Okay, so before you, there's a blessing and a curse. If you keep Hashem's mitzvot, blessing will be activated. And if you don't, the curse will fall upon you. The ceremony of the recital of the blessing and curse will be taking place later, the verses tell us, when they cross the Jordan and arrive at the valley between Mount Gerizim, which is the Mount of Blessing, and Mount Avel, which is the Mount of the Curse. You know, time and again, we speak about the precise wording of Torah and the multitudes of multi-layered lessons that can be learned from each word and even every letter. Nothing is happenstance or extra or missing, and every word and turn of phrase conveys meaning. So open up your heart in the deepest way. These first 3 verses emphasize 2 things. 2 elements which I believe are one and the same. Today, the todayness of it all, and free choice. Did you catch that the word today is mentioned 3 times? Again, see, I present before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, that you will heed the commandments of Hashem your God, which I command you today. And the curse, if you will not heed the commandments of Hashem your God, but turn away from the way I command you today to follow other gods which you did not know. Today is everything. How could the Torah be relating to us that this is being commanded today? You know, we always tend to push off until tomorrow. One message here is, don't push off until tomorrow. Our sages have related extensively to the idea of today. Regarding our relationship with Hashem, the Shulchan Aruch states, they should be new in your eyes every day, meaning the mitzvot. Daily renewal is the most important thing in a person's life, in a life aimed at really living. Each day is its own wondrous world, full of potential, possibility to choose. Not to look at what was yesterday, and also, on the other hand, not to think that there is a tomorrow so that I can just push everything off and procrastinate or be lazy or give up. The holy Rabbi Nachman put it amazingly. He says, what does it mean, the verse in Psalms 95:7, what does it mean today if you will listen to his voice? He says, take one day at a time. When it comes to pursuing one's livelihood, only think about today. But also when it comes to avodat Hashem, to serving God, only think about today, this day, and this hour. What's going on in your life right at this moment? When a person wants to truly start serving God, it can appear like an insurmountable burden, unbearable. How could I bear such a burden? So much to do. I have so much to change. But if the person would think, all I have is today. Today is the only day that counts. It wouldn't seem like such a burden at all. A person should also not push off from one day to the next, saying, I'll start serving God tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be a better person. Tomorrow I'll pray with better concentration and that sort of thing. Because in this world, really, all we have is today. And this very moment. Because tomorrow hasn't happened yet, and it's another world completely. So it's literally today, if you'll listen to his voice. And if we'd be able to see today as the first day we have made this covenant with God, and that today is the day that Hashem commanded and entrusted his mitzvot to us. Today is the only day we have that will make all the difference to the world. Today is the day we've been given. This would make all the difference between the blessing and the curse. And this is the secret of these words. This is also an amazing teaching for us this Shabbat. And so perfectly timed and divinely orchestrated because, of course, this is the Sabbath of the blessing of the new moon, the month of Elul, the last month of the year, special time for teshuvah, repentance, that precedes the awesome High Holy Days. This is the month for beginning to fix everything that we did mindlessly all throughout the course of the past year, all the days that we forgot that today's the only day, all the days that we forgot to realize the importance of each day. We're about to begin the time especially set aside and designated for divine aid to fix whatever in us needs to be fixed, to greet the new year. So today, we have a choice to make. And this concept of free choice, it's elemental. It's a foundation of Torah. But the choices that are laid out here before a person are, excuse me, it's more than simply clear-cut. They're extreme. They're all or nothing. And what is this? Blessing or curse? There's no middle ground. Blessing or curse. As if we're always facing clear choices in life, blessings or curses, good or evil. The Torah doesn't seem to recognize any middle grounds, no gray area when it comes to these issues of our faith and our behavior and conduct. But still, don't we all agree, don't we all know that situations that confront us in life do not always appear to be black and white? In fact, rarely do things present themselves as 100% blessing or 100% curse. If good and bad are mixed up, how does one make the decision? You know, all of the elements of this parsha are connected. Idolatry or the Holy Temple. Serving false gods, meaning open up your heart for open heart surgery. Serving false gods, meaning serving myself or serving Hashem. The parsha begins with the word Re'eh, see. Sometimes we can only see with corrective lenses. I might think I'm acting fine, but maybe I don't or won't see myself correctly. Maybe my agenda doesn't permit me to see because I'm still holding back from embracing the whole mitzvah. I mean, fun's fun, but is Hashem really asking me to make this total commitment, blessing or curse? The mitzvot of Hashem, the divine commandments, and our faithfulness to the values of the Torah are our corrective lenses. To see the choice that lays before us at every moment, today. The two major elements of these verses, today and free choice, are one and the same. This is a lesson for the coming month of Elul and for every day of our lives. Choose today. It's a blessing or a curse. It's all or nothing. Choose it to be today that we start our lives really. Choose the blessing. Choose the rest of your life to start today.